it at that. Because that happens sometimes. I mean, that happens with hearings. You can't open it though.
May 10th.
Or open it back up.
All right. Well, you said you wanted to keep with the time. Just wait a couple more minutes. Because she said she wants to keep it as close to 7:45 as possible, the next one.
That's fine, so just close this one and let's do administration until then.
No, we haven't started.
We'll start.
Okay.
What do you want to just sit here for a total minute?
Well, I just twiddle my thumbs until we can start actually. Okay. All right, let's get started. Okay, it's April 26th, it's the planning board meeting. We have a quorum. We're going to bypass the...
Not have a quorum.
We have a quorum for the meeting, but we don't have a quorum for the hearing because Danielle's in a butter, we're going to be able to elaborate.
So we're going to bypass the public hearing for the shade tree bylaw and scenic road. And we're going to jump to administration, which is review the planning board reports for the annual town meeting 2017.
If you could just continue that hearing.
This one's continued to
May
May
10th at 7:30.
We will be continuing the hearing to May 10th at 7:30 p.m. I wrote it down to say it and I jumped right over it.
That's okay.
So, let's see. So what do we have to review? So this is the reports in. This is all good. Same thing it was last time, right? Nothing new.
No, because town meeting's on Monday, I thought we should just look at it one more time, make sure you guys are comfortable. Danielle, you said you may not be able to attend?
Yeah, between, now that I actually have my soccer and baseball schedules down, my kids, and they all have all three of them have stuff on Mondays, so I'm struggling with just getting in there, never mind me being able to do anything else. So there's a potential that I could end up still making the town meeting, but I just don't know when I would show up.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
So Mark Sprague volunteered to read your articles anyway, so let's just have Mark do that, and then that way that pressure is taken off of you.
That would be great, just because if I am late or I miss it, I would feel really bad.
And then Eric, Gary Burwack has your slide, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you made it a little bit more clear. So Mark's doing 9, I'm doing 10 and 11. So on 10 and 11, I told the moderator I don't want to combine them, but is there some procedural thing on the floor that I have to do to combine them into one vote?
Yes, you have to state, so you read the article, and then you'll have to say the planning board, I already have the language there for you. The planning board moves the articles 2 and, I'm sorry, I'll have to update that. It's not 2 and 3 anymore. It's 10 and 11.
Oh, okay.
Be passed by consent.
Okay, yep. Okay, and
then if for any reason the planning board chooses to pass over an article, I just have the generic language at the very bottom of the reports in case that happens.
Oh, okay.
Makes a motion to pass over.
And then Mike, you're good with...
You don't anticipate that passing over?
No, I don't anticipate either, but just, you never know.
Yeah.
So Mike's doing base map and you're doing the fire.
Hopefully none of these will be controversial.
Did you want to...
You never know.
How did Dave get out of reading any of these?
He was not here when we were assigned them.
Did you want to do any extra one? Mike, you're fine.
No.
You take one of mine.
I think the agreement was that if there were any additional questions, he'd have to stand up and answer them.
There you go. If there's controversy, he needs to
He'll have to.
put forth.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay.
Okay, so moving on to the schedule. I know that Dave has an issue with the May
Yep, so I have his email
4th
here.
meeting. Yep.
So May 10th is our next meeting, and it sounds like that should be a go.
Yep.
That shouldn't be a problem. However, David does have a few dates that don't work, and he'd obviously like to be here if he can. So we're looking at changing some of the dates. And instead of the May 24th meeting, he's asking that the group consider meeting on May 31st.
Yeah, that's not an issue for me, I don't know. Anybody else?
On the 31st? I don't think so.
Actually, that works better for me,
Okay.
Okay.
because there was another baseball game on the away on 24th. Whereas I don't have one on the 31st.
So which bracket is this?
Rookie one?
Oh, rookie one, geez, let's get into it already, rookie one.
Well, it's his first time playing, but he's a second grader, so he's older, but,
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
we'll
we'll do, all right.
tentatively switch the 24th to the 31st.
Yep, that works good.
and then the other issue we had was June 28th, but it's so far away,
What was that? What's wrong with that one?
he just can't do
He
it.
Oh, you
can't
just
do
can't
it, so he would like to meet on the 21st. So I would like to be able to at least tentatively, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, we can do it at the next meeting, but think about maybe the 21st, if that would.
That's fine.
Either of those work for me.
I won't be here the 21st, but it doesn't matter.
All right, so we can talk about it again at the next meeting,
Yeah, dude,
but
everybody will be here next meeting, so we'll lock that one in there.
Yeah, because we wouldn't be able to bump it into July, because that'd be July 5th, which I would highly recommend not doing.
no, I wouldn't want to do that either.
Well, usually when we get to June, July, August, sometimes we get by with one meeting anyway.
I think August, yeah.
I like that.
July and August, just with vacations and stuff, it's so.
We usually do one meeting,
Yeah.
I think that's.
yeah, so maybe one meeting's enough in June as well.
Yeah.
If we do like the second week of June, July, and August.
Yeah, we can do that. We can talk about it
Yeah, I don't know how much,
when it gets closer.
I don't know how much these subdivisions are gonna be pushing us or not.
Yeah,
That's a really good point, actually.
when that definitive subdivision comes in for Main Street.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it next meeting.
Okay.
Alright. Next up, Jonathan Macklin. Looking at the A&R plan for 38-7 Old Bay Road, parcel 5B-49. So we're looking at a subdividing it, dividing it up.
Yeah. Almost exactly that. So this is,
Yep.
yeah, you guys have a little young one over there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has the Mylars on it. We own this, and we have purchased, and you guys signed off on a transfer of this piece from Tim Murphy, who lives next door.
So we already did that part, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That A&R should be in your packet, the previous one.
I remember the little.
Oh, yeah, this one, okay. So it went from the Murphy property into your
That's
property?
me, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so we now have right down to the, we're relying on the surveyors because the map looks close, but there's two A&R lots now that meet all of the bylaws for building dimension, frontage, setbacks, area.
So-
And just to orient ourselves, this
Yeah.
is the common there between
Yeah.
Ballville, Wilder. So I live currently
Yeah,
on Old Bay Road, that's our address.
yeah,
But we back up with land on,
yeah.
hard to tell, but part of it's Ballville, then it comes out to splits to Wilder here. So
Where's your driveway rating?
right now, I brought one I can write on.
Yeah, good.
Dennis can't help you with pink pictures. Color, I like the color. Yes. Spin that around. This is identical to the one underneath it, except we caught a detail where this had shown Wilder Road is running here, when in truth Wilder Road does branch off, so. the update-
Oh, yeah.
Updated
It goes
correct
into
letter.
Ballville, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually
okay.
So my driveway right now, as we speak, comes in, give or take a few feet, it comes in and curls around. It doesn't go up to the house. So right now, there's no development plan for this. I don't have a client, I'm not building on it. It's just kind of a future plan for my family. But having said that, I guess one would have three choices to pick an address here. You can Bowlville, Wilder. But if you were to walk the land, it really only makes any sense at all to bring it in off of Old Bay.
Okay.
Right now, and this is why I brought my green pen, what you can't tell from the drawing is, oh yeah, it's an aerial.
What's this thing?
So this is heavily wooded.
Yeah, so you can see all these trees right here, okay, yeah.
And so, it doesn't make any sense to cut into that
Yeah, no, I don't.
to come onto your land. B, there are some topographical challenges here. The road cut from the road into this land over here is about 8 feet tall, and it feathers down to about a 4-foot elevation difference. Whereas on Old Bay, it's about a foot. It just blends right in. And there's odd trees here, but they're just kind of fence line trees. It's not what you call wooded at all. So, the common sense says it's way less intrusive, easier from a builder's point of view, less costly, because that's always.
So this whole thing is, this is whole thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
No, that's good because, I mean, the big controversy was the curb cut there.
Yeah,
So I think people were worried about having this one and another one, so.
Absolutely.
So
Now,
if that's,
The timing is actually a little coincidental, but this whole operation has nothing to do, I mean, besides the fact we're neighbors,
Yeah.
and we cooperate, and I
Yeah.
bought this parcel from him,
Mhm.
there's no project or anything. This is way down the line.
yeah,
I heard and talked, and, we're neighbors, so we chat, so
Yeah.
there was perhaps talk of ameliorating this invasion by sharing a driveway, but if
Yeah.
you were to walk the land,
yeah,
regardless of Tim's situation, it doesn't make any sense to serve this
yeah,
back here.
Yeah.
Because this can stay woods, this provides privacy
yeah.
to everybody, all this work of land.
Mhm.
I think they're planning a well out here, but there would, we'd sneak out here for a
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
a well
yeah, you don't have to do a lot of
Nope.
removal for that.
No, and anybody in their right mind knows or would learn that there's more traffic on Wilder than
lot
there is on Old Bay. So
Mhm.
this shielding is kind of an asset.
Yeah. Looks good to me.
Yeah.
So I think this is, I don't think there's any issues, right, associated with this? I
With
think
the
that-
A&R?
Yeah,
No, I mean, you're meeting all the
I
requirements.
meet the
for an
offsets
A&R,
and the,
yeah.
So if his road is on Old Bay, but it looks like the 200 feet, it doesn't matter what road the 200 feet's on?
Yeah, we took the frontage on A
Yeah,
Street.
the frontage.
Just A Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it's good. So do you have 200 feet
I
on Old
think I
Bay?
got it everywhere.
Oh, do
Yeah,
you?
he's
Well,
got significant.
What else we got? What's that number? 157?
Yeah.
And there's 47, so there's
107.
200. There's
Oh, okay.
200 right there.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
and then you've got, okay.
And then some left over. And then I never did the math on Ballville, because Ballville kind of came late to the party, but 35,
It
and
would
this
be-
whole thing's, if that's 260, that's probably close to 200 to here.
Yeah.
So there might even be, but again,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't, not at that
No, this is a
intersection.
Bad intersection.
It's not, yeah.
No. And, I've learned, I'm a building contractor, and I've learned that it's really easy to say never, but unless it's against the law,
Yeah.
you can't say never. So I can't say, no one would ever put their driveway here, but common sense would dictate
Yeah.
in all circumstances that the best way
Mhm.
is over
Sounds good.
here. We were delighted to learn that it also, and this doesn't matter for tonight's purposes, but we were all very surprised that the water table's very low here. There won't be a mound system, so the meadow's gonna be able to stay.
Oh, that's
We
good.
won't have
Mhm.
the sledding hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty up high. I mean,
Yes.
everything keeps going down, like all
Yes.
of the topography keeps going way down.
Yep. Yep.
No issues.
How long's my hearing? I just want to tell you, you guys should learn one fun story about this whole corner.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilder was an eccentric man, and this is the original Mr. Wilder, and this is all written down. He brought his own pastor, his own congregation to Bolton as part of his eccentricity. And they built a church right here.
Oh, okay.
and it was long gone. The pastor's wife was from Scotland, and she was so lonely that they paid to have her sister and her family brought over from Scotland, and they built on this foundation a beautiful, huge luxury home, and they owned everything. This farm owned all the way down to the golf courses,
Wow.
all this meadow
Oh,
across
yeah,
the
to the
across the
international
street.
restaurant, yeah.
And this is all in a book in the antique collection in the Bolton Library. So the last remnant of the church foundation's gone, but the foundation of this barn was that sister. And she grew up and became a writer, and she wrote a biographical novel about her whole life all around here. Well, it's just kind of
Yeah, that's
fun
cool.
thing. It ties into the whole Wilder.
Yeah, cool. So is that a cellar foundation or is that just a flat?
No, it's an old
slab?
fieldstone. Not in very good shape, but there's an old fieldstone
Oh.
found. And if you look at the barn, it's, this barn doesn't make sense with this foundation. And well, I was lived
Because it
there a
was
while
originally
before
house.
someone, I lived there quite a while before someone told me.
Do you know what year the barn was built?
There's two sections. One section's like 35 years old
Oh.
back here. The main barn, looking at it, it's not old. I would say maybe World War II.
Oh.
It's all sawn timber. It's not post and beam.
Oh.
It's not a heirloom kind of barn.
Oh, okay.
Trust me.
Yeah.
It's an old barn.
Cool. All right, well,
So I leave you guys with the Mylar. How does?
You keep the Mylar, we keep the hard copy.
so
You
need
have
a
to
motion?
record the Mylar at the registry.
Make a motion to,
And, yep, the
I'll make a motion to approve the A&R plan for, where is it?
387.
387
Old Bay
Old Bay Road, dated April 19th, 2017.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is unanimous. So we have to do, was it 5 here or 3?
I think there's usually 3. Maybe
Do you
there's
want
more.
to?
Erica, ask her a question.
Yeah.
How many,
Eric, can
Yeah,
you
go
I'm
ahead.
asking you.
Oh, you're okay.
How many people on the planning board?
There's 5. So 3's a quorum.
What takes the date?
And there never are more than 5.
6?
Well, there is an
26.
associate, but
Because
only,
we have only 5 there,
No, no,
the
26
quorum is
right.
4.
yeah, right.
We couldn't do the hearing.
We don't have a quorum for the hearing.
So there won't be any hearings?
No,
No.
not
Not
tonight.
tonight, just
Okay.
business items.
Thank you.
Yes.
And nice to see you, John.
The Wilder, Martha, if you're here for the Main Street subdivision, that's
Yeah.
not a hearing, that's just a business item.
Oh, 649?
Yeah, because I'm assuming that's what you came for. Okay.
Yeah, great, thanks. That was the seat of evangelism in the country, the Hillside Church.
Interesting. Interesting
really?
story, Mr. Wilder.
All started here in Bolton.
Because you did.
No, I did it.
Mr. Wilder lost his fortune by losing, I think this is right, I think this is what it is. He lost a small flotilla of ships loaded with guano in a storm. It pretty much put him out of business, lost everything, lost the hill, lost the farm,
Wow.
lost everything.
I live off of
All this money was in guano, huh?
I would wonder, how could you have that much tied up in 3 or 4 ships?
Yeah.
Almost 700 acres.
Yeah, that was a big piece, yeah. Yeah. A lot of farms, a big piece.
So,
You good?
we're good.
Thank you very much for all your attention.
So you keep just the Mylar, right? And we keep the hard
Yeah.
copies?
Yes, we keep the hard copies, right.
I don't do this
That's
well.
okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
Just didn't want you to walk off with them, that's all. And you need to get that recorded at the
I will.
registry.
Yep, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Alrighty.
Likewise.
Next up, 649 Main Street subdivision.
Brandon's supposed to be here and the fire chief, I believe, is
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Well, it's a little early.
We're a little early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give 5 more minutes.
Anything interesting to talk about?
Yes.
Maybe agenda items. We've already talked about the admin stuff, so.
We have a history lesson, Martha? What do you got?
Well, we're gonna try and replace the plaque that was stolen from that Hillside Church cornerstone that's in the middle of the island there.
Oh, okay. That's what, town land? Is that,
Well, that was always an issue with the Vespas, and then Mary passed on, but it had been proved to be town land at one time, but they sort of disputed it, so they wouldn't let DPW do any grooming there, so the Historical Commission used to try and help. But I'm not really sure what it is today.
Chief? Is Brandon out there?
He is, he's right there, yeah. Darn, yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, you're up.
All set?
Yeah.
Don't even sit down, just come on.
You're trying to get to the Celtics game.
Yeah. We Sherman Dills with here, Paul Landers. You want to come up?
Yeah, sure.
And Chief Metzger. So I guess we presented this plan probably about a month ago. And one of the things that was brought to our attention was the new regulation coming up regarding fire protection. And so obviously we're very, very curious to see what effect that's going to have on this project, given the fact that it's creating 4 lots. This is the existing water source here.
Is there a hookup there for this?
Is it, yeah?
So I guess the first thing is we're looking at this, the board kind of asked us to meet with Chief Menster, which Greg Roy from our office did, specifically in regards to this site, as well as really what's going to be required under the regulations going forward. So I don't know which order we want to kind of tackle that, but we can kind of start maybe on this site, and by all means, John, speak up, but on what you're looking for fire protection on a subdivision like this. So for instance, we are obviously greater than the 1,000 feet from the existing water source. We're looking at having to provide a level of fire protection.
Where's the 1,000 foot mark?
It's about 1,200 from there to there. So,
Okay.
it's part of something.
So I guess in general, Chief, maybe start general. We said 1,000 feet drivable distance from the nearest water source. Is that the right distance? Are your hoses long? Could it be longer? Or?
Well, the fire hose comes in 100-foot lengths. We actually carry on each of the apparatus, we carry at least 2,000 feet. But the big, so that's not a problem. The limiting factor is that the longer the fire hose is, the less water you can deliver out of it. And with 1,000 feet, that would allow us to deliver the gallonage that we would typically need for a residential structure fire, which is, in the order of, 800 to 1,000 gallons per minute. So that works with 1,000 feet. If we made it longer, then we would have less water available to us for firefighting purposes. So 1,000 feet is kind of a good, number.
So is there a concern with it crossing the street like that as well? Like having to...
Obviously that's a concern, but, if there's a fire, we do what we need to do. So, if we have to cross the street, we will.
Now, do you know?
And that would shut down traffic, but...
I guess statewide, maybe in towns similar to ours, do you know if there's a number there where you need to be so many feet within a water source? Or?
I did do some checking online, and the 2 that I found, actually from North Broad Lee and the one from Southern New Hampshire, they both use 1,000 feet.
Harvard, 1,000 feet. Yeah. I mean, in general, I think having that bylaw is, I don't know if it helps insurance numbers or anything, but it's probably a good thing.
I believe it. My guess would be that it would, but I'm not an insurance person.
Yeah.
So in terms of this site,
Yeah.
we've talked about a few options, I guess. So the first thing is what kind of capacity we'd be looking at to kind of gauge what the cost would be. And I believe we're throwing out numbers of a minimum of probably 20,000. So something similar to what we put in most of these subdivisions, is kind of what we're looking for.
Yes, that's
So-
kind of been the
Gallons.
Like a 20,000
gallon
gallon tank?
cistern.
Okay.
So,
With like
You
a
know, the
fire pump,
magnitude-
that's, okay.
and when you add everything else in there, a well to fill it, we're kind of in the $40,000 to $50,000
Yeah,
range
yeah.
to get that in. So that's, obviously where some of the concerns coming in. And I think one of the other options, as you look at them, would be to sprinkle the buildings, and whether that would be acceptable. But again, that's probably in the order of 10 to $12,000.
It'd be 10 to 12 a house.
So believe it or not, it's
Suppression in
cheaper.
there, Yeah.
Wow, it's cheaper to sprinkle,
Well, but
Well-
times 4, right?
On this site, so you kind of have to look at it each way. So then the third option we're looking at is kind of what we could do to improve this, and that would be to get that distance closer, that access. And one idea would be, if we had a connection here, a Siamese connection where they could park the truck here, there was some type of a dry hydrant that could basically
oh, yeah.
get it up
Yeah.
closer, the truck would park here, it would draw off the pond, it would power up that line, and then they'd fight off that. There's another thought, I guess, that wasn't presented when we met with you, but just something to think about on that.
Can I, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Could you just explain that one a little?
so similar, I think it's similar, remember, when we did Houghton Farm,
Yes.
so the fire pond is right at the end, and that was, similar thing there, where basically there's a connection
So
there.
you're talking an underground hard pipe?
Correct.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like a water main?
Yep, exactly.
And you would route it to here, you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of the debate where we get it, but, obviously get it up far enough where, it was,
And you have to get town easement and stuff like that.
it would get, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that would come from, not us, or Boris, I don't even know who would approve that,
Selectmen.
to put a pipe under the road.
Selectmen, I
Yeah.
guess,
Mm.
yeah.
Under the road where, if I may ask?
It would, and again, there's no plans or anything, hey, it'd probably just kind of come directly across here, and then we'd have to
Into
run
my land?
it.
You might be able
So
to stay
this,
within the public right away.
there's actually a good sized right of way here. This is the lot line here, so there's actually, a good amount of town land here. So basically, yeah, you'd come in, it would run down the right of way, and then would kind of come in at some point onto the lander's land.
I mean, it'd be better if you could come in close to the.
Even if you were down, so the other thing to think about here is if we did have a cistern up in here, or we had a connection, there's obviously routine maintenance involved on that and checking, so it's also creating a situation, every other one we've done in town has been immediately adjacent to a town right away, so they can go up and service it. It's a little bit unique if we had a cistern up here where at some point, it's private property, coming up to maintain, and
Yeah.
there's gonna be some scheduling and different things like that, so obviously if we extended it, now it's also providing benefit to
Anywhere the
other
road,
areas
yeah.
too, so if we had it closer
A dry
down the road.
So
yeah.
a hookup would remain here and here? Or would-
No, it would be a
Yeah,
dry hydrant though, so you'd still need a truck to
Yes, there'd
park
be a
there.
Pumper truck. They would draft water out of the
Yes.
pond, pump it right into the.
Oh, I see, it's not like it's not always hooked
It's not
up.
a pressure.
No, it's called a dry hydrant, meaning it doesn't have, you can't just go, the hydrant that would be down there, you can't just go into it and open it up.
But you still don't get your gallons permitted then, right? Because the distance is still the distance. Right.
Well,
That's where the 1,000-foot.
We'd have to look at it hydraulically, but I would think with
it's a
the
wider
the
pipe.
iron pipe
Yeah.
and the size appropriately, I would think that would still be
Yeah,
achievable.
if you still did, if you did an appropriate, like a 6-inch fire main, or whatever, an appropriate sized fire main line right here, your distance now, instead of coming from here, is coming from here, so it's fine. You're gonna actually make that better because you're gonna have a shorter distance, so you don't have to worry about the pressure within the pipe. Because that's all gonna be taken care of. I mean, it's a pressurized pipe, and you'll start your hose right there, where you
Correct.
kind of bring it down here. So you won't have to worry about that. Just one question I
Yeah.
had, with the cistern,
Yep.
would you have a fire pump with that, or is it just gonna be the tank, and then you kind of come up, you tie into the tank with the...
Correct, yes.
Okay, so there's no fire pump or anything like that associated, it's just this 20,000 gallon tank that's holding
A
water?
fire pumper would connect up to it and
Similar to
draft
that
water out of
situation,
it.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
So that makes it cheaper, right, without having all the pumps?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I got one question. Where does
Oh,
That's
sorry,
all.
could you just state
Oh,
your name?
I'm Wilson.
No, that's fine.
Neighbor.
my neighbor.
Neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
She's, right here.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm wondering, where does the water come from that field?
The fire pond across the street from your house, yeah.
Yeah, where does the water come from?
It's just
It's the
groundwater.
groundwater.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's a cistern, that means that my well might not function because I have a very shallow well in the house. It's only 11 feet deep. So anything that affects the groundwater affects the water supply to that house.
Well, cistern would be fed from a well up here, is that how that
Well, we're
works?
talking about two different things. The cistern would be, but now we're talking about if we were to draw off, I assume we're talking about if we're gonna draw off this pond,
Right.
what effect does that have on her well?
And you
So
only
the
got-
short answer is, I mean, it's only in a catastrophic event.
Yeah, you're only gonna be drawing.
Only during a fire,
Yes.
where you would need to
Yeah.
draw off of that.
Because my well was already, of course, last summer.
I'm sure, yes, it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, so this would be, like you're saying, it would just be a empty pipe pretty much,
Right.
unless
Yes.
you needed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have to like blow that out every now and then, or is there like, I don't know?
Well, I would hope it would be constructed in such a way that we wouldn't have to, that the water could stay in there. And I assume if a normal fire hydrant was used, so it could be drained down to a level below the frost line.
Yeah, I mean, your fire line's gonna be installed anyways with, minimum 4 feet of cover to prevent frost. It would just be right where you have the dry hydrant, it could have a drawdown, so you can empty it out.
So at what point are they grandfathered in? You know, if they have to be approved as a subdivision, or is it when they put in their definitive, or at what point are they?
So in regards-
grandfathered into the old bylaw?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'd have to do some research. I don't exactly know the answer to that. I don't know if it's under a preliminary or if it is the definitive.
Mhm.
So I don't know the answer to that. If, Brandon might know. I know they've been looking into that.
Yeah, in regards to this property, our attorneys looked into that. So basically, at this point, it would have to go to definitive to do that. And when you start looking at the cost to go through that exercise, because we're really just looking, we're not even really essentially doing a subdivision in that sense. We're just doing a site plan.
Mhm.
You know, it's an A&R, it's a special permit because of phosphorus. So we're looking at, you know, I know initially we kind of came in and talked about potentially doing that option, but
Yeah.
at this point, we're moving forward with the premise that we're going to
Whatever the
meet it.
bylaw is,
You
yeah.
know, because if you look
Revised
at the
bylaw.
cost, and that's why working out what we're gonna actually do affects the cost and it helps
Which-
assess it.
Oh, Josh,
Martha?
Martha Remington, Main Street, representing myself. How close to the wetlands would this cistern be? There are a lot of wetlands on these 20 acres.
Yeah, good question. So
How much will be sacrificed?
we talked about a couple different options. If we did a cistern, as you're saying, we install one, it would be outside of the buffer zone. Because basically, we're putting a tank on the ground, we can put it anywhere it's fed by a well, we don't need to be fed by wetlands. If we tie into the existing water hole, you know, that would be considered wetlands. So I know when they do routine maintenance and cleaning, you know, we file with conservation and go through that. So there would need to be a filing to install that dry hydrant there.
The three options, cost-wise, do you know which one works?
Well, Chief, are you receptive to putting suppression in each one of these houses? You know, having a full residential sprinkler system in the homes?
I mean, to me, actually, that would almost be the best choice, just because having a residential fire sprinkler system in each home would really, you know, pretty much prevent any large fire from happening. Whereas everything else here we discussed is kind of more for the, you know, the worst case scenario where you end up having a fully involved house fire. So, and you know, the sprinkler system should be able to prevent that.
So what is that, a holding tank, and a separate holding tank of so many gallons of water?
No, so a residential sprinkler pipe system, we call it like an orange pipe system, which is the plastic pipe, and it just has a backflow, and it's just a regular, you know, see what the gallon flow would be on the well when you get it, but.
It's just gonna tie up from the individual
It's just right
wells.
into the well?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like a reserve tank or anything?
You know, it will draw straight from the well, and you'll have your sprinkler systems all throughout the house.
And most of them have a flow switch and, full response. If you get a water flow, the fire department's gonna come out. I mean, it's not the ideal, but if you look at the three options, I mean, if the town would allow it, a residential sprinkler system, it might be, I can see it now, this seems like a long haul too. You've got wetlands over there to get into the pond, and public right-of-way access to get the dry hydrant, there.
The only reason why I like that option is just because you're providing, one, you've got a connection on this side of the street, but
But now you're offering one on the other side,
which I think could be beneficial, but along Main Street.
Do you like that one, Chief, on that side? Do you like the one with the,
Having one on each side, so then you don't have to have hoses cross and.
And that would be cheaper than just a 20,000 gallon tank?
oh, I think this is the most
Oh,
expensive.
the
of it.
tank is by far the most expensive.
Yeah, it has to be well-fed and.
Yeah, I just did a design of a 20,000 gallon tank with a fire pump for the town of Sherborne, and they are doing a library edition, and it's,
Does it need to be 20,000 gallons for 4 houses? I know,
It's going to depend a lot on the size of the houses, but typically I'd say 20,000 would be about the minimum you'd want to go.
so for a 4,000 square foot house, how much water would you need to fight a fire?
I don't know, I can't answer off the top of my head.
So I think what he's
Plug
saying
numbers
is,
into
if he's
the-
doing 800 to 1,000 gallons per minute, and you look at it that way,
yeah.
1,000 gallons per minute, so,
that's what they're throwing up there, that's a lot, yeah, you choose that pretty quick.
yeah, that's true, so, when you think of it in that way. Yeah.
It goes quickly.
Martha Remington, might there be a benefit to the homeowners on their fire insurance if they have sprinkler systems in the homes?
Yeah.
I would think so.
So are they, in residential, are they extruding just like you would see in a commercial building, or are they smaller?
Well, most of them are just the flush white heads.
Okay,
yeah,
so they're not like the big metal
No.
things coming up, it's not
No.
like they're unattractive.
I think the only drawback that I've seen on them is just, there's maintenance to them. There's every 5 years you should have them tested and have a flow test, and, it's like a regular commercial sprinkler system. There's a little bit of maintenance to them, so you have to know that going in, and there's, some people would argue that, you could get a freeze up, or you could, you never seen what a sprinkler system can do for damage as far as water goes. If there was no fire and you had a pipe let go, or a head let go, or a kid smashed a head with a
But
bat.
I mean, if you have a freezing situation, then it could affect
Yeah,
anyone.
no, good point. It's just, this is just what I've seen in these residential systems. That's what the builders were all up in arms
I think
5
you look
years
at
ago.
these statistics, you'll
Yeah.
find that, the incidences of accidental or unintended, release of water from the sprinkler is very, very low.
Yeah.
Are all of these beyond 1,000 feet? Meaning, could some of them be fed by this?
Sounds like-
And
Yeah, it sounds like maybe these two were 1,000 and these two aren't.
two or,
That's a good point, yeah.
so 2 of them.
Maybe only to do it in this house. I don't know,
You probably want to do both of these
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things is it's about 1,200 as the crow flies. I think the
Oh, so you're gonna do
regulation-
driving, yeah.
So it's under
Yeah.
there.
What is driving?
So it might just be just that one. That could.
Might be, So really, it's kind of just getting feedback of what is acceptable, so we can put some real numbers on that.
What would
It sounds like kind of weighing between sprinkling and then figuring out what the details are. And
Yeah.
we kind of know what we're looking for here. We mentioned ductile, but, open to plastic as well. Or ductile, I mean,
Yeah, I really have no
it's
experience
possible.
with that.
I don't know
I
if
would,
those-
I would strongly encourage it being ductile.
Okay.
I would,
Which is,
Ductile iron, a cast,
Metal.
yeah, instead of when you're getting up, I know you can use plastic pipe for water, but,
Yeah.
I mean, here's gonna be much higher pressure than a normal
Right.
water line.
yeah.
So then, when we look at that, and just to run these numbers, how far up are we gonna run that dry hydrant? Are we just trying to get within 1,000? Or is it gonna be required that we go
I mean,
we just.
up as close,
if you could make it work, to kind of have the dry hydrant down here, I personally like it closer to Main Street, so it's not only servicing here, but it's potentially servicing a tie-in off of Main Street on this side. And hopefully that will give you your distance here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would look for, but if you,
Certainly, there are two trade-offs in a sense, I mean, providing additional fire service to that area of Main Street versus providing fire protection to the development
Yeah.
itself. And, as long as the numbers are okay, certainly having it closer to Main Street, that certainly would be acceptable.
Okay. I mean, if the chief's fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Well, we just want to make sure that it's constructed in such a way that, there's adequate space for a fire engine to, pull off. And,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Because now you need two, attack pumpers to do this? You need one sitting here and then one sitting there?
No,
No,
one
just-
here can push it through then.
Okay.
Pose,
So all you,
yeah.
just the one, okay.
And like I said, we would definitely need to run the hydraulic numbers just to make sure that, in this scenario, or this proposal, that we'll be able to get the adequate fire flow at the very end of the hose.
Yeah.
So at the May 1st Board of, the town meeting, so when you adopt this, is there a 3-option plan that'll be out to the town that, if you're developing, or this situation comes up again, or is it more leaning towards, you'd like to see the cistern, or even is suppression even on the table that people could put?
I
I think it was just like being addressed,
yeah, I mean, we were basically saying, if you're more than 1,000 feet away, there needs to be a conversation with the fire department and the planning board as to how to address fire protection.
Okay.
So that was my understanding. So if you're less than 1,000 feet away, then you're okay with what you're doing, but if you're more than 1,000 feet away, I don't want to limit someone with how they attack fire protection, or not attack, but how they, install fire protection. So I would say it would be a discussion between the fire department and us and what works with you guys.
So I think the important thing we're taking is the fact that, fire suppression at the houses looks like a desirable option. It would be nice to be able to, as you come, you look at each project, at least you could by right do that. Not say, well, we've accepted before, but on this one, we really want the cistern, because obviously that's gonna be a lot more expensive, so, yeah.
I'm not tied to anything.
I'm not either. I mean, I would think each site may be different and may have different constraints, and I would want to be open to.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's protection for the fire.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I just don't know how, Brandon, we could talk offline, but like how, I don't even know how the approval process would work for that. For Chief, do you find it, difficult to have access to a fire pond? For these 4 houses, I mean, crossing the street, that's one thing, opening the road permit and all that stuff, but access to that water source, I mean, you might be 30 years, you might never even have a brush fire back there, but, I mean, it's an excellent point. There is an option on the side of the street for Ada, for the Steve next door, further down the road there.
I think it's a good question, because I think this site is pretty typical of Bolton. You are gonna have these sites that come up with these common driveways, there is gonna be a fire pond close, and looking at what is gonna be required. And, certainly, the wetland filing is one thing, and that's relatively straightforward as far as timing and what needs to happen. The bigger thing is would easements be required? Now, and again, if we are basically, is this a private fire protection, or is this something, for the town's benefit, if we're bringing it down, even a subdivision, we do have easements, but I guess it's something to look at, is what is going to be required to get those easements, Are you going to the selectmen? Is that something that the board would support? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Is it just the town, or is the state involved at all?
Well, this is the town.
This is down,
Yeah.
so there's no.
I mean, is it possible to construct another fire pond somewhere up here? Is that, I don't know what goes into creating.
Digging a really big hole, getting down to where the groundwater is.
That would be on private land.
Because this is all part of what you own, right? I mean, if there was a pond right there, that...
You can certainly do. I think that the challenge would be conservation.
Yeah.
That's why, most of them, they accept the existing ones, and they're pretty good about maintaining them, obviously, and keeping those
I
clean.
mean, the nice thing about the cistern as the water supply source is that, the permitting's pretty easy, as well as, it doesn't run dry, it's a guaranteed source of water.
and the pond gets run dry, quite dry. Sorry.
So I think we got good, do you have any other questions while we got?
No, are you guys waiting to hear from what town meeting's gonna come back at, what they vote on for options?
I would assume it's gonna pass, you know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's controversial.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just,
You never know.
You never know.
you never know, you never know.
Yeah. But I
The big thing
assume,
is now, yeah, it's not gonna affect anybody's taxes. you know,
Yeah,
so-
that's true.
But Chief, if you saw a building permit with a residential fire system on it, I mean, would you?
Yeah, as long as it's, you know, designed and installed based on applicable NFPA standards, and, you know, that's good for me. I can certainly go with that.
People like it. It's faster if you have a sprinkler system.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
But
If there's a house fire and trucks have to come, it's much rather put it out at the source.
Yeah, well, the big thing with those systems too is it's really just to get people out. You know, I mean, it certainly will help
Yeah.
fight a little bit, the intent really isn't, you know, to put out the fire as much to get the people out safely.
So anyway, I think
All right, well, thank you.
we're good with
Okay,
whatever.
all right, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we should talk to Don Lowe about what it would take to put a pipe underground there.
The bottom of the house is
You
still
mean
there.
permit-wise?
Yeah.
I think that
Goes
would
across my pumpkin there.
I think that'd be tough getting the go-ahead from the
so
state.
is there going to be
for
one
that.
well for?
So is it state
You
or is it town?
don't need to approve from the state though, because it's town-owned, road.
Are you going under?
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, because they own closer to 495, so it's just all local permits.
Okay, great.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thanks for coming.
I think the bigger question is it a private hydrant, or is it a,
Yeah, does he
Right.
maintain that hydrant?
that's
across the
where I
street?
think there's, I don't have an answer to
Yeah,
that. Like,
I mean,
don't-
it would seem like if the town wants to use that then for other houses.
Yeah, it
Right.
almost seemed like if you'd want to put it in the public right of way, so it's public property, if the town has to maintain it.
Yeah.
The subdivision doesn't.
Something you guys could address in the decision though, because for example,
Like,
well, in
it's
Olive's
a,
Park, the fire pond that's on their property, we still use for surrounding areas, and that's the agreement.
yeah, so I mean, it sounds like, I mean, if that option were to be the one that they wanted to move forward with, it sounds like it makes sense to keep it in the public right away, have the town maintain it, and then they just.
But what
they
you're
just
saying
pay
is
the
Bolton Office Park has to maintain theirs and we still use
They
it.
maintain.
They don't I
I
think
think
the towns
they
don't
maintain.
maintain, I'm just saying it's on their property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this way, you know, they pay to construct it, but then it's the public, it's a public right.
Alright.
Hey guys.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I know, how you doing? There's
Hello?
only three of you tonight.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Good.
You were good? Yeah. Okay. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, what do you guys, any more talks about the road?
We've been working on the handicap ramps. It's too wet to pave them, but they're dug out, graveled, ready to go.
Yeah.
So
So,
we pushed it off till Monday.
okay. So, yeah, we had that checklist, which, you know, that Dave always has. We got the thing from Fred, but that's the whole entire rundown.
Yeah.
I guess.
I met out there yesterday with Erica and Fred and Rebecca. Thank you.
Fred, do you want to go through like just what's open?
Okay.
Sandy?
These yours from yesterday.
I mean, I see some things on here that is still from like 2015, but I don't know.
Some of those things at the very end are
Right.
gonna be done before we actually do top coating on.
Oh, okay.
So, you can go through it line by line.
I guess just fill in the most pressing needs, I guess.
Okay, I'll summarize, and the first, number one under general,
Yeah.
was about the area on Century Mill Road that was cleared where the roadway, Old Mill Road's gonna come down to Century Mill Road, and there's gonna be a infiltration system to the right as you look up into the site and so forth. They had an access there from way back.
Yeah, long before I was ever here.
So, now,
So this is all the clearing, yeah.
So I never,
Yeah, no.
I always have to orient myself, so.
so as you come down to Century Mill Road, forget this part, it sort of comes down over here, right now, from
There was
an existing cut for them to
Oh,
come in
okay,
when they were moving materials and driving around.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, there's a infiltration
An
system
existing or proposed?
proposed.
Proposed, but it's also the temporary drainage area. It's been scratched out and left as a depression.
Oh, like I said
Sediment
before, sediment basin.
Yeah.
But no,
All right.
not the structure itself isn't installed yet.
Okay, okay.
So forget this road right here, so as this road comes down and went out, what they have done, I don't know, months ago, is they've turned and come this way to access this area.
So we could back a truck up and
Okay,
down.
They've
okay.
created their own
It's like
on
an
their site.
S-curve.
So there is, Erica, you got a butter called you about, possibly about some dirt going on.
I
to the
did,
Central Mill
yeah.
Road.
Yep.
So what he's gonna do is put a berm on this curve so that any water coming down there hits that berm and continues this way.
Okay,
Because that's where the
So about 30 feet up from Century Mill Road.
okay.
His new road, his now current road turns and comes down, so it's the Hall Road. And so he's gonna put a berm there, but along Century Mill Road, he's gonna put in wattles just for the
That would
road,
be great,
another
yeah.
30 feet.
Like so.
Yeah, it's not
With the
much,
soil that go
very
back
little
down.
water actually goes that way.
Oh, that'd be good, 'cause
but-
then I could trap it.
Yeah.
So that's what number one sort of states.
Okay.
We went over
So-
how we're gonna deal with that yesterday on our site. visit,
Right.
So that's,
So a lot of this we're gonna talk about was discussed yesterday.
Okay.
So we don't know. Okay, detention basin, number two is detention basin 9C, which is up here on, Old Stone Circle. Okay, and that had sediment in it, and as you can see about, 5 paragraphs down, says the bottom of the basin has standing water and ice. That was back in January. Now that has melted, so they're gonna clean up. It's not a lot of sediment. There's more in the beginning of the basin as compared to across. It looks like a lot, but it's a layer.
it's like a,
Okay.
thin little
If you
layer.
peel it back, so they're gonna be cleaning that out. A lot of things we talked about are now, the weather is good enough for them to do, and that's one of them. Okay?
Now, part of it was us putting in erosion controls between the stockpiles just uphill from that pond.
Okay.
Those were put in during the winter,
Okay.
but we couldn't get stakes in the ground because they
Yeah,
were frozen.
frozen.
So we're gonna get guys putting stakes in those. And we're gonna hydro seed between the two silt fence lines
Okay.
to stabilize. But we're also starting construction on that lot that the pond is actually on.
And that's what number 3 is.
Yeah, that's,
Coincidentally. Number 3 talks about putting in the erosion control back in the winter time. And then the first paragraph on sheet 3 was what he's talking about next, which is this lot 27 goes in, the basin is in lot
yeah, it's
27
an
also.
Okay.
lot.
So the driveway coming up in it is what I'm talking about on the top of page 3. It just is now a dirt drive, a exposed dirt, existing soil, not gravel or anything, parent soil.
Because I just
That's
run it, okay.
Well,
Well, it's
it
got
is
walls
little,
and silt fence
but they're
below.
gonna, they've got them, the waters and silt fence collect a lot this way, but some are still going,
So we're gonna rip wrap that up into the
Okay.
access to the lot we're about to
Right.
construct.
That's.
and that's what
okay.
that first statement on
We haven't used
page
that
3 is,
access
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, a construction.
12
okay.
months, you know, we haven't used it, so it hasn't been a thing we focused on putting rip wrap in, but we're gonna, Fred suggested this is higher here, next to the pond, so we're gonna run the rip wrap farther into the lot up to, towards the construction, so it
Yeah, so that should hopefully
should
help.
help.
Yeah.
So that's our game plan for dealing with that now that we're about to start construction on that. We sold that lot to Bob Pace, or are selling it to Bob Pace. It's one of the things I'm here for later, but.
To expand on what he just said about extending it, we talked about on his construction entrances, the existing material on site, when it gets wet, is very muddy. So the construction entrances get clogged.
Really quickly.
Very quickly.
Very
So we talked about you know, the time it takes to either take out the riprap and turn it over, recycle it through the machine, which does become smaller, so they end up using it for another type of
Driveway fill and
material,
stuff like that once we recrush
to
it.
put in longer.
That's fine, yeah,
lengths
so
of-
doing 50 feet too, you know, whatever.
Depending on what the law allows.
Right.
They can't give
And
you a
then-
specific. some
Yeah.
only
Then they
have
might not
60.
have to touch that, especially at the street end of it. And then that also minimizes what might go out to the street feed for his time and maintenance, but also for us as a town, saying the roads getting too dirty all the time, the roads in the summer.
Yeah, and I think that's one option. I think, you know, the other thing, and I know you did this last time, is just to, if you can't extend it long enough so stuff isn't getting into the roads, is just to increase the street sweeping as well.
We
as much
sweep
as-
at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock every day, so we're done by
Okay.
5, but, and the water is working on the sweeper now, just put a new
Okay.
engine in the sweeper.
What type of sweeper are you using?
Brachi, broach.
Is it like a broom sweeper or is it a
Yeah,
vacuum
it's a big
sweeper?
broom that you can
Okay.
swivel the broom, it's got
It
2
was a
water
12
tanks.
inch, 18 inch diameter,
Uh,
the broom.
They're about
bigger,
that.
huh?
yeah, they're like this.
Yeah.
And I just put
Gonna
my brushes
track
on
it,
it.
but
and I
it's
have
not
a-
an attachment.
So it's not a vacuum sweeper?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No,
That's
we
okay.
sweep them into like open
Yeah,
areas that we
okay.
can sweep it into. And then, because it's looked cleaner, Erica and I discussed maybe blowing the roads more regularly. I know we had said to stop that because of the dust, but now that,
Well, now you actually might be able to with it being so wet and,
yeah, I mean, we can't blow it until it dries.
Yeah.
But when you sweep when it's wet, you only get so
So
much
much, yeah.
up. But once the next day it dries, it's easy to blow that off
Mm-hmm.
and be done with it. But my guys have been instructed not to sweep stuff onto the curbs, which was our big problem with blowing the curbs off. There was a lot of sediment, so they're sweeping everything towards the end of the cul-de-sac and then
okay.
picking it up with a loader, is
Okay.
how we're handling it right now. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
You can go ahead and continue, I'm sorry.
So on number 4, which is detention basin 9D at the end of Old Stone Circle, once again, this is something that is going to be taken care of, this says in spring of 2017, so that's to be done.
That'll be in the next
now.
30 days.
Yep.
I mean, we shot a yard the other day just to stabilize the slopes, but I don't think seed's really taking right now, not until it
Yeah.
gets a little warmer. So in the next 30 days, we should be able to shoot that and actually have it take.
Number 5 talks about this lot right here, this is the wetland coming through, got really quite a slope down to it, and when they fill that lot, soil would migrate down to the wetland. Rebecca knows all about it, Erica does too. And when this dries up, we say this,
June, July,
I
something like
should have
that.
said, I said the spring into it, I should have.
Yeah, that should
been
have been more like
the
summer,
yes,
Because
oh,
it's still like,
yeah.
That stays wet until June, and July and August
Yeah.
every year. It's been-
Well, that's like my house. My house is, right now it's wicked high, but then, by the end of August, September, then it will dry up.
yeah, I mean, we'll send guys down with hand rakes and rake out whatever we need to rake out, but right
The
now.
slope
it's-
is taken care of on the lot
Yeah,
with,
so.
with jute mesh back months ago, and with, it's been hydroseeded now.
Hydroseeded now, and it still has the wattles.
Yes,
That's the only one we hydroseeded just to stabilize, even though I know the seed, we're gonna have to do it again for the lawn to look good. At least we put
Okay.
down the tackifier and the paper mulch to take care of it.
Number 6 is what we just talked about, the construction entrances and how it have to be reconstructed, built longer, whatever he wants to do to make them work. The street was swept and the sill sacks removed.
You saw the
Clean and
pictures
replace.
of the gas trap.
That's- yeah, that's-
Oh, that's later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said, so this has been done?
Number 7,
Seven,
yes, had been swept, right, as of yesterday,
Okay.
had been swept.
And the sill sacks were removed?
Removed and cleaned and replaced.
Okay.
They just have to stay on.
Inside.
I told my guys every 2 weeks from now on to clean them so they don't get full.
Yeah.
Because they're a lot harder to clean when they're full, and so every other
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
And even on the street sweeping, even though it hasn't been much inspection, the past 2 random ones I've done have been early in the morning and they weren't swept from the day before.
Early in the morning, like what time?
8 o'clock.
Yeah. Sometimes.
They
I'm not
weren't
gonna
swept.
say,
They weren't swept.
that's fine.
And then number 8, we talked about this before, back in January, he has some erosion control stockpile, but he should have enough to
If there's a situation.
We have breaches and so forth. Okay, Old Stone's fire cisterns with the fire department, everything's being taken care of there. On the drainage, the first one was about the oil and gas traps. He did take pictures, one of his workers did, and I saw them yesterday when they took out the silt sacks.
So they were.
They were all in, that's what it says there on the last, third paragraph of that item.
Oh, I guess.
Okay. The other stuff, well, I'm sorry, granite curb is something that's gonna be done prior to, granite curb that's been broken, nicked, moved out of place will be replaced, fixed, repaired prior to top course, but not, so it's gonna be,
Prior to binder repairs, right? 'Cause
then top course, yeah. And that's still years, more than a year down the road anyways.
Any safety issues with, no, okay.
It's crap.
There's
Okay, just-
superficial
okay.
chips.
Yeah,
and
it's not
jumps.
technical.
It's not like a,
It's aesthetics.
okay,
More than anything.
it's not like a big jagged thing.
No,
Okay.
no, things
But if I
like,
replace the 5 pieces in the cul-de-sac, there's nobody saying that I'm not gonna have an excavator
No,
hit
yeah,
another one.
yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for
No, that's
for us to
yeah.
do it until the end.
planning to seeding. All the seeding we talk about here is gonna, now, it's good whether they're gonna be seeding this and
The seed's
this
on
next.
site. I just need
Yeah.
the weather to cooperate temperature-wise and.
And it's really the 2 detention basins, is basically what it is, and what roads are leading, what paths are leading to those detention basins, access points. And that then should also prohibit whatever's has been going in, whether there's hay bales or silt fence or wattled, now that, once that's
Yeah, once it's
established.
stabilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we talked about in our meeting yesterday, like the next 30 days, weather dependent, that's, as soon as we feel it'll take,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it. We own a hydro seeder, so all we have to do is take it there and do
And
it.
just do it, okay.
And then the last item is bituminous curb, and that's gonna, it's not a hindrance, but there are places, just so it isn't forgotten about, that I've noted here, that have to be fixed, put in. Some of them were spots where they thought a driveway was going, so when they put in the bituminous curb, they
Oh,
went up to it,
quick.
stopped everything,
Yeah.
and the driveway is now over there, so they cut bituminous curb, but now they have an opening to grass.
Yeah.
So
So
it's,
will you do that at the same time when you do your top coat, or are you gonna do that?
No, we'll do it sooner than that. I
Okay.
have, we cut in all the handicap ramps and everything you guys
Yeah.
were asking for,
Yeah.
and they've been graded and gravelled, but it needs to be dry. We were
Okay,
gonna
handicap
try
ramp, is that concrete or bituminous?
bituminous
Okay.
with tactile pads pressed into
You,
it,
you do have, that, okay.
and we were planning on doing it tomorrow, but the gravel's still wet. So
Yeah.
Fred and I were just talking about pushing off till Monday, maybe Tuesday, depending on what weather we get this weekend.
Okay.
It's supposed to be nice, except for a little bit on Saturday. So I'm thinking Monday we're gonna do those, and when the paver's out, I'll talk to him about when he can get his curbing machine out to do.
he has to cut that curb back, and
Yeah,
it's
it is,
bituminous
yeah.
curb, it's not granite.
Yeah.
So
Is it
when he-
berm or is it curb?
Cape Cod
Cape
berm.
Cod berm.
It's a Cape Cod berm.
So when he does that, he's probably gonna do at the same time do these other
Yeah.
areas.
Since I have that mix on the truck,
Yeah.
we'll just.
Okay.
Now, everything else, and I'll go back to one item, everything else under here is later and it's old items to be fixed, repaired, finished, but some of them most of them have to wait until the end, except for, and there's past this, but the bottom of sheet 4 is the sidewalk, and that just says, the next, on top of sheet 5 says, what he just said, they've been
Okay, so they
excavated,
have that
gravel,
stuff, yeah.
but they haven't been paved yet, so.
I have the previous version, so I'm trying to follow along.
Okay. So that's where.
So your gravel sub-base is bit and then you just haven't paved it?
Yeah, but the gravel has to dry for us to pave. I
Yeah.
had paver
How
lined
did you
up
do
for
your,
tomorrow.
when you say you mean the detectable warning strips? How did you
Yeah.
put those in if
They're
you?
not,
No, they're not
they
yet.
get pressed in.
Oh, okay, that's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
thought you
no.
said that they were.
We have them
going.
ready to
Okay.
go, and
Alright.
I just gotta,
I was gonna say,
We're ready
how'd
to
you
go.
install them if you haven't done that?
so I hope you guys see we've been trying to work on stuff, given the winter being what it was. and-
Doesn't sound like there's anything really.
A lot of it is this erosion
That's the
control
base
stuff
Yeah.
and siltation and all that, which should be either established, fixed, prepared, done in the next month.
And
right?
Yeah. that's
last fall, I think when we talked, when you guys were getting ready to go through winter, we had mentioned either doing some jute mesh or some erosion control of the areas. What did you end up doing for the stabilization for those kind of areas when we were talking about?
In some areas, we put riprap in, so where we had the blowout at the crossing,
Okay,
we put riprap and then additional jute or silt fence and stuff in there.
okay,
On lot 47, we had put in
okay,
a row of wattles, and then my guys had left like a little gap. They didn't overlap.
Yeah.
So we put hay bales behind those, and now that's been hydroseeded. So the
Okay.
house is closed. It's
Okay.
been hydroseeded.
And that was jute
We'll
mesh
probably
also.
reshoot
and that, it was jute, okay,
That was
okay.
jute mesh.
It was
Okay.
jute mesh. That's right. Well, jute mesh and the straw matting.
Right.
Yeah,
We
which,
had it covered, yeah.
erosion control mat, okay, all right.
So
And then the other one was over here where we just talked about.
Yeah, so that was all
27 rows.
installed. How did that fare during the winter?
I can see where we had an issue at the pond at 9C, which is what we were talking about,
Okay.
bringing that riprap up past that, because we're going to be accessing that lot right
Okay.
by those
There's a
fences.
spot that wasn't covered once they opened up a new driveway.
Okay.
It was when they put it in,
Mhm.
they had covered everything. Then they opened up a new driveway and exposed, maybe from the road in 30 feet
That's about right.
of exposed dirt, and that washed down.
And
Not
that-
terribly, but
I'm sorry,
Still
I didn't mean to interrupt.
right.
I was just gonna say, that particular lot that they're talking about, that's one of the lots that Fred's requesting a release
Yes.
from. So
It
I
is
would
sold.
say, I have no problem with releasing that lot, I would just request that before we issue a building permit maybe for that site, that those erosion controls get put in and are stabilized before they start working on that lot.
That won't be a problem.
Yeah,
They're not closing for another 2 weeks, so
Okay.
I don't see a problem with that
okay.
at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
We
this
just-
Bob Pace's lot, I actually brought extra covenant releases for other lots I'd like to talk to you guys about, but we
Yeah,
can
no.
finish going through all this
the
stuff
only
first.
thing I was just gonna say is, we've gotten through the winter, we're getting now into heavy-duty construction season. There were a lot of talks last time with regard to the erosion sediment control. I think that's the biggest concern on this site, and
Yep.
really, it would be great if
We
you
put
guys
in
could keep
everything
on
we
top of
could
it.
in the
Yeah.
winter, and like I said, the plant's open 2 weeks ago, we already started digging out the
Yeah.
handicap ramps. We're trying to take proactive measures to catch up on all the stuff we said we were gonna take care of in the spring, so.
No, that makes sense. I just want to make sure you guys also keep an eye on the erosion stuff, and
Yes.
so that we're not getting calls of
I've set
stuff
out a new
going
schedule with
on.
my guys, they're gonna be doing the silt sacks every other Friday.
Okay.
I mean, they're deep silt sacks, they're not.
Oh, good, all right, so
They're the big
they're,
yellow ones that
yes,
are like
that's
deep, so.
good. They're not just a
But
filter
when they
fabric.
get full,
I know, they're
it's a
really heavy.
problem.
They're really
So,
heavy. You have to.
I have them check them every 2 weeks, emptying the ones that need to be emptied. And
That would be great. That's my, just one comment is really to just, as you go through this construction season, to
That's,
keep on top of the
that's what I'm working with.
the erosion
I've
sediment
got
control stuff.
guys scheduled to actually do it every other Friday. I've got a guy designated to be in charge of it, so I've tried to
Okay.
push it forward in a way that's gonna be more manageable. on that
Keeping
one.
compliance with your NIPD's permit.
Exactly right.
Except for those SWIP reports that I don't get.
Oh, are you supposed to get a copy of the
Well,
inspection?
I request it.
She's, yeah.
Those are supposed to be every 14 days and after every quarter-inch rainfall.
Yes, I know.
Just a small
Actually, it
reminder.
says half inch.
No, it's a,
It says half inch on the paperwork. Anything over greater than 0.5 inches.
just to let you know as well, not to do with planning board, but the EPA just revised their permit in January.
Mhm.
So you need to submit a new NOI to comply, because after May 19th, you will no longer be in compliance with your NIPD's permit. So it's just filing, the regulations didn't change too much, but you do need to file a revised.
Take a regular pen.
Yeah, there you go. File before the 19th, refile your ENOI, and that should be good for the next 5 years. But that was revised in January.
ENOI.
ENOI with the EPA for your NIPD's, whoever did your original
Okay.
filing of the NOI should know
Okay.
exactly how
All
to
right.
do that. You can just basically say, look, the permit expires. Actually, the permit expired back in January, but you have a grace period till,
I wasn't here when this filed, so I have to find out who
It was Mike Carter that.
It was Mike
Because
Carter?
when I came on board,
Yeah.
it had expired with the two that.
With the other one,
well,
5 years,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had to go through that.
Yes, every-
process.
every 5 years
It's not hard,
it's-
it's just a
Okay.
matter of doing it.
I'll call Mike in the morning and let him know.
Yeah, so, and you do need to comply with the new regs.
Okay.
They haven't changed much, but they do have some specific requirements with disturbance of how much area you can disturb at one time. So just might be something you wanna
Okay,
look at that.
all right. I will talk to Mike about it.
I don't know if we want to take a quick look at which lots are left to be constructed and kind of see what's around them, to see if we want to think ahead now about erosion controls and what you might need to do.
Like all the way at the other end?
There's like, what, 5 lots left?
On just Old Stone.
I'm just talking about
Okay.
Old Stone. That might be something you want to do, is just kind of think ahead of.
So right now you're asking for 26, 27, and 40, right?
Actually, I brought others because I had a purchase and sale agreement go under today. It's supposed to close in the next 3 weeks, so I don't know when your next meeting is, and I don't want to have it held up.
The 10th, May 10th is our next meeting.
I'd like to maybe swap some stuff around or ask you for all these, and then you can hold some, whatever we gotta do.
What are the other ones?
Well, I brought the remaining lots, and then we'll go through which ones it needs. But I've got the last lots to be released in the whole thing are 25, 26, 27, 39, 40, 41, and 42. I'm sorry, that's it, 41, not 42. You already released 42.
So 6 of them.
That's what's left in the subdivision.
Of this road.
Of this road, sorry, of this road.
Yeah.
Of those, 27, 39, and 40 have gone under purchase and sale agreement. 27 and 40 are to Bob Pace, and he is going to want to begin construction as soon as they close in the next 2 weeks. 39 went under agreement today. It's something we've been working on for 11 and a half months, and finally got it finalized. It's been a nightmare. But their bank wants to close by the end of the month at the latest. So those three, I really need to
What was it again? I'm sorry, 27, 30,
27, 39, and 40 are my
you
must-haves.
three must have.
Now, I know that according to the
27,
covenant,
39,
all we have to
40.
do is pay the bond and we're supposed to go get the release, but I know you guys like to have stuff that you can bargain with, whatever. So if I were to take Andy's stance and say, well, the covenant says this, we're supposed to get it. But I'm not fucking Andy. Sorry, I'm not Andy. That's just not the way I roll. So what I need is those three tonight. Like, I have to have them. I have a model going on 25 and 26. And I have already, since I put the foundation in on 25, had interest on it. So
So you don't need, you can
I
have,
don't need it like
you need, you
tonight.
can have 2 models. What is it? Three
Three
models.
models.
So you don't need a lot of release.
I don't technically need a lot of releases on them, but if they go under agreement soon, I'm gonna need to get at least 25, because I've had interest. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, we started as a model. As soon as the foundation went in, I had a customer come by, like, hey, what are you building right there? We wanna buy it. So
Yeah.
I believe 25's already been released.
it's, I don't have the sheet you gave me this morning. I gave it to Andy.
Yeah.
I think 25 might have been released.
25's been released.
So it's only
Let me
26.
grab my spreadsheet again, but it's only 20.
26
Yeah,
is the one that
26.
hasn't been released that we're doing a model on?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just double check.
all right. I just want to make sure that, just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
trying to work on
It sounds like things are pretty good, besides a couple of
Yeah, I mean,
strange things. but not
Well, without being rude about it, it sounds like yes, but they should have been done them.
They should have been done years ago.
Yeah.
Instead of having to wait for the spring, that's what you're saying.
I'm not disagreeing that. We had plenty of good weather to do it last year. I know we did.
Just like the handicap ramps of 2014.
Yeah, I didn't start here till
I
that.
know that, but it's still,
Yeah, lot 25
you
was
know,
released in
if
December.
we get everything caught up in these 30 days, we're back on track. This is the best
With
way
the
to
exception
put
of
it.
the stuff like the pre-binder repairs.
Right, but that, I'm talking
Yeah.
about that first
Yeah,
section,
yeah, yeah.
the first third of the
So
report.
do you think it's a good thing to do would be to release the 3 that he said are required, 27, 40, and 39, and then hold 26 and 41 for this spring work?
Well, I'm not gonna answer that. Not your department, right?
Erica?
Yeah, I have no problem with lot releases. I would say that we at least hold back building permits then, because I want to see the work that's being promised, that it's actually done.
Okay.
So
Within
how many of these
I-
are you selling off lots as opposed
Three,
to?
those three.
You're selling-
So it's 27, 39, and 40.
So it
And
won't
someone
actually
else is
be us
gonna do
that's
construction
Bob Pace is
on
going to
those.
get the building permits?
on two of them.
So which two again? It's 27?
27 and 40 are the two
Or
that
Bob
Bob is
Pace's, okay.
purchasing. And he'll be filing for his own permits on those. I'll still be filing for the permit on 39, but I have at least the 30 days after it closes. I have to get it's a custom house, so I have to get all the architectural drawings. They're just buying the lot. We're still building the house for them, but they're paying for it on their own, as opposed to us doing the construction financing. They're doing their own construction financing, so whether it's cash or through a bank.
How-
So the building permits come from Mike, right?
Well,
They
everybody
do.
has to sign, planning board has to sign,
yeah.
conservation, everybody's got to sign.
Everyone signs, but at the end of the day, it's the building.
So how do you,
But it doesn't come before the board.
It doesn't, no,
no,
it doesn't.
but how do you say, like, if you say, you know, you're okay with lot approvals, but not?
If I don't have this, she won't sign it, essentially. If I don't have the covenant release.
Yeah, so the way that it works is once the lot release is signed, it has to be recorded, he has to give you the book and page, and then they have to post surety, and then once all that's taken care of, then they can apply for their building permit.
But how are you saying to
You can-
potentially
yeah.
hold back the building permit? I guess.
I would talk to Mike and just say, Mike, look, this was the agreement with the planning board, and Mike would have no issue with that.
Okay, okay.
He's never
Yeah.
gone against
Okay.
you guys, like it's.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wasn't
Do we
sure.
have to have a
Certificate of
vote on that, or
occupancies
no?
were a little, yeah, I would vote on that. The certificate of occupancies were a little bit different because he may have been obligated to
Yes,
sign
yeah.
off, because you have, it's just a little bit different, the
Okay,
structure of it,
all right.
but building permits, I think,
It's a little different, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we should be releasing all the lots, you know, I think that's it.
I don't think we should be releasing all
I
of it.
do want you to take into consideration that the covenant
Yep.
does say if we have emergency access and we post the bond amount,
Yeah,
we are able to get the covenant releases. That's what it
Okay.
says.
okay.
But I'm not trying to like hold you guys' feet to the fire on that. I'm willing to work with you on that end from my end. But there's certain ones I do need.
I mean, we just need to make sure we have a leverage for
Right, so
the spring work.
if we have.
And so
two
what's
lots,
acceptable
that's-
leverage?
The bond that you're holding, technically.
Bond, holding back building permits, you can hold back one or two of the lot releases.
Yeah, if we held back 26 and 41.
I mean,
I would
For-
rather see you hold back lot releases than building permits, so I don't get in an issue with Bob Pace when he goes trying to get his building permits. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want him suing us because he can't get a building permit. You know what I mean? I'd rather have you hold some of the lot releases like 42, 41, 26.
Well, 42's already been
42.
released, it's really only 26 and
42's been
41.
released?
You just told us that.
mhm.
Well,
42's been released, but you haven't picked it up. It was released in December.
what about 41?
No, that has not been released.
So it's
41
just
and
41 and
26
26 are the only two that,
The other, yes.
41, 26. Which I have a model going on to 26, so I'm sure.
And 39, right? 39?
39.
Yeah, and 39.
But that's the one of
But
the ones
that's-
that went under contract today.
Well, it sounds like 26 is a good one to
I mean,
hold
we
back
can hold
then,
back the
because he has
building
interest
permit
in
on
it, and
39.
if he wants to,
yeah, he's gonna come back,
he
yeah.
does gotta come back, so. Hold
Okay.
back 26 and 41, release 27, 40, and 39.
I'm okay with that.
Where
And
are
then
we
what
on?
about the building permit for 39? Just as an added,
Say it again?
the
Okay.
building permit
All
for
right, so
39.
we'll hold back the building permit on the one that you would be going
I'm
after.
fine with that,
But
'cause I
not
know we're gonna be
necessarily the
done with-
one with Bob Base.
Yeah. I think that's,
27 and
that's
40.
fair, yeah.
Yeah, allow 27, I'm okay with that.
Any fines or
Not
fees?
that I'm aware. Oh, yes, that
Yeah,
was the
Fred
other
needs
thing.
money.
Yeah.
I'll be able to bring you a check sometime in the next 7 days.
Okay,
So
How much?
maybe by Friday.
3,000,
So contingent on the 3,000?
yeah.
Where are we on the affordable trust?
That's still in my court. We did a site visit 2 weeks ago with the appraiser, Fred, Andy, and myself. She's been working on it. I called her today and left her a voicemail. I haven't gotten it from her yet, but that's a essentially, once I have it from her, then we can start that negotiation again. But I do have the
We have the
$140,000 in
Yeah,
escrow, so,
140, so.
Okay.
in March, they did need it as well as Bob Pace, CO, so I did talk to Dave Yazway, and he felt comfortable enough with the fact that we had the 140,000 in escrow, that we could continue to issue these
Because
COs.
I have a few coming up for CO in the next like 2 weeks.
Particularly
Yeah,
since
it
it's
seems
sort of in
weird.
our,
That we've
On
got
our
it tied to
end.
the COs, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we had 140K, so.
And that was for the first
I don't
batch
think
of
it's gonna
20,
come out
right?
that much
And
as the
now,
appraisal.
what, if we,
From talking to
if
the
we've
appraiser.
released,
We've released
Six together.
27 altogether
I
so
don't think
far.
so.
and now we're talking about
40K.
potentially
Personally,
so what
4,
happens
5
then?
more.
We release it.
Well, those
But
are
we
just
also
the
need
lots.
2 other lots.
COs, I'm
So
not
we could-
sure. He said he may have 2
roll
coming
forward,
up.
you know what I mean?
That's what
Yeah.
those are based on COs. the-
Yep.
I
The
have before we
affordable,
lost
yeah,
more.
exactly.
You know what I mean? You guys already got it, just keep it.
Um,
Are we good?
Yeah.
Making a motion, something?
Do you want that holding back the building permit in the motion?
She said.
Okay. I'll make a motion to release lots 27, 39, and 40, but to hold back the building permit for lot 39. And this is also contingent on a $3,000 fee to be paid to the town for Hamway Engineering consultant fees. Yeah, and I need to say that we'll hold this.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimously. All right.
So can we just review real quick what the 30-day work's gonna be, so I can
Okay.
Sure.
make sure we're on the same page?
Sure.
Handicap ramps.
Yeah, I'll look
Take
at
a
this
lead
one.
for me here.
Yep, I will, oh, sorry. Okay, the work along Century Mill Road,
You want to just tell us what number?
under general, number 1. And it's really the last paragraph of each of these is
Sure,
the
yeah.
latest thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 and 8. 7 is ongoing, 8 is to get it there and it's stockpile. Okay? I'll set that.
No, because I have a different copy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But just let me know afterwards, and we'll go through this time. I haven't written down.
Okay, can you just make a copy of this?
Do you want me to?
For Fred?
Yeah.
Really just,
I have the one we used at the meeting yesterday.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's not
fine.
the
This,
most
we just got
updated
this today. Or, no. When did we get this?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
But, yeah, can you copy these, yeah?
Thank you.
Instead of kind of, you know what you're
Thanks.
saying?
I appreciate it.
So this old stone circle cistern thing, this has all been worked out with the fire department?
The last item, number 2, is about the height.
I told Dave we'd raise it if he wanted to.
Yeah,
He said come by and take a look at it. I met him yesterday in the,
the finished grade isn't done yet, which makes sense, so it's been based, my personal opinion has been based on arbitrary, what's physically out there, and then it got changed.
he had
I
us
still think
lower
it's
it.
too low.
Well, he had us lower
Right,
it
I'm sorry, go
like
ahead.
18 inches or something ridiculous, and now it's too low. So he wants us to raise it back up pretty much to the original height.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I met with Dave yesterday.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
He asked if we'd be willing to move it up. He said it's on them, but we'd be, and I said, well, fine moving it up, but our mobile welders are out like months, so it's not gonna be something that happens.
So this is somebody from the fire department?
Yeah. He said that he had us lower it,
Yeah.
and it's not our obligation to do it, and I told him, look, it's a safety issue for the people in Belton. I'd be happy to raise it, but no, it's not gonna happen overnight, because the company we subcontract do mobile welding, they're booked out. This time of year, they're like out straight, so it's gonna not be something that happens tomorrow. But as long as they get done before the snow falls, he'll be happy, so.
Really, because the problem when there's something prohibiting to get there, which would be snow. It's up about, it's usually
So
up
they
18
can't
inches
find it?
high. and-
32.
I'm
Almost
sorry,
at 32 inches.
32, whatever it is. And then when he saw it, the grade hadn't been finished at all, still isn't finished around. So he said, no, it's too high. So lower it. Then the grade started getting filled in Now there isn't enough
Not separation,
separation
cost me like $1,200 to lower
to lower it.
So now I gotta do it again and raise it. But I told them I'd do it because it's a safety issue. I have no problem doing it, but it's not gonna happen tomorrow. Like, those guys are up straight with equipment repairs and everything else, because mobile welders, especially that do pressurized lines, they're not like your guy that shows up in a truck and just throws a bead of weld down. It's gotta be watertight, it's gotta be certified, so. Thank you very much.
Just gonna run through quickly.
Yeah,
That's number one.
So number one is the last part of the paragraph.
Yeah, basically the last pad is the latest.
Okay.
And release of summary. Number two,
Oh, you start back maybe.
yeah, just give it to him, give him 3 and 4, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. 5 is the summertime stuff, which I should.
Oh, yeah, I want to start.
Okay, so the old stone cistern is fine, drainage is fine, granite curb is fine, and basically seeding.
So yes,
So
yes, it
seating
is.
does need to be done.
The seeding,
The seating needs to be done.
and then the bottom of this page, number 1, the handicap ramps.
Right, which should be all set and done next week.
So that's what's
That's under
to be done.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
This
I mean, we've already started the handicap.
So that's what will be required to get,
Now the ponds, being the bottom cleaned out, I know it was almost dry when we were there the other day. The pond's got water a foot deep all the way across it.
From yesterday's rain.
Yeah, so
It,
that's the one thing I can't,
Yeah.
like, when it dries, we can clean the silt out, but when he and Erica were up there, it was almost done. And now it's got water this deep all the way across it, so I gotta wait for it to dry to lay the silt out on top of it.
That's fine. We got
So
30
and you're still
days.
gonna pull from the inlet pipe, right?
Yeah, and we'll clean out the inlet. That was very bizarre though. The lease didn't go that far back.
so that's the list for 26 and 41 then, in the building permit.
That's it. So
We're good?
we're good there.
Okay, I've got it right here, 30 days. They already
Alright,
worked.
so I'm giving you 27, 39,
And 40.
and 40. Do these go to you, Erica, or do they sign these, or?
They can sign.
Okay.
Actually, is there a place for them to sign?
Lines.
There's
Okay,
lines.
yeah,
I don't know
perfect.
if They're fuller, but.
Yeah, no, perfect. I didn't know if there was only
Do I
one
need
line.
to, Dave need to sign this? I don't need to leave a space for him.
No, you're a quorum, so you can
Okay.
sign it.
It's dated up here, so I don't have to date it.
I would date it anyway.
Okay. Blue pen's fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Your magic marker.
I was like, uh-oh, I already
It's only the
started.
A&R that they're,
Just had a panic moment. I was like,
The
uh-oh.
Mylars, the Mylars.
yeah. Exactly.
What have I done?
Made a deal with the devil, buddy.
I know, blue pen.
Oh, of course, you use black.
I know.
Everybody else uses blue. Erica, I believe these go to you. That's it, right? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that was pains.
Yeah,
So
wolf that
it's
Dave.
I'll bring Andy next time. We'll make it.
Yes, Andy, it's beautiful. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're
Okay, so
done.
these, just to make sure that I have the motion correct, these lot releases are contingent on getting the $3,000 for Fred Hamline.
Yep,
Yes,
that's it.
yes.
And the building permit
on
for
my
41.
lot.
For 39.
30.
The building permit for 39 will be held until
The site work is done.
the site work is
Yeah.
done.
Right. Okay.
Can you put a contingency on the ponds being dry enough to clean the silt out in the next 30 days? On that? Like if they're full of water for the next 30 days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to over,
I don't think we need to say anything
yeah, I
now.
don't think
we're-
it needs to be a
it'd
condition.
be reasonable. Reasonable.
All right.
One thing that wasn't mentioned in the report, and the downstream side of the outlet of 9C where it eroded, we're gonna put a riprap.
We're gonna add a
It's in the report, but I
Okay.
didn't mention it.
Yeah,
Still
still
have
that
that.
right there. I already told Tom about it this morning,
Okay.
so.
part of the whole maintenance of
Right,
the
yeah.
basin.
That's where it keeps over.
In other words, even though it might not be mentioned, whatever's in the, written in there,
Yeah.
under those items.
Yeah.
What did you guys want me to do as for these property line? We kind of like talked about it and we never finalized.
Well,
I'm not supposed to do anything over there for the lawyers, so do you want me to just move it way up
Let me ask you a question, you know, we talked about the riprap
Yeah.
going down there, how far you gonna put that down?
to the property line? That's all I
So
can
you
do.
still, so what's the difference of,
It's like 5 feet,
no,
according to him.
no, what's the difference of, your lawyer said not to do anything in that area, it sounds like.
Anywhere past those pink stakes, I can't go over there. I can't
So
step
now
on
Is this the
I would
abutters
put-
property line?
Yeah, there's a stretch of 30 feet
30 feet.
of no hay bales, no
No.
silt fence, right?
Yeah, the abutter
Yeah,
keeps
so-
cutting him out because he swears it's on his
Why
property.
don't you bring them up to the pink ribbons, or whatever you said?
Yeah, our side of the pink.
Right, up,
This is
yeah,
the-
where there's this, where it's not disagreed, that's not
I'm
his
fine
property,
with that.
Yeah.
right?
This is the one with the
Okay.
tree complaints?
Yes.
yeah.
I've been instructed I can't do anything, I can't remove anything until it's settled in court. So I can't
Oh,
like,
it's a lawsuit.
But you can do it on your property.
On
I
our
misunderstood you,
property.
Artie. You
Yeah.
can do it on your property, put in the
Okay.
hay bales and cut, just, it'll look odd, we'll be coming around
Yeah.
and then
It's gonna look-
detour and then come back in again. It's still good enough, because beyond that is not gonna erode anyways,
right.
so.
As long as you're fine
right?
with that, then I'll do
Yeah.
it there. That is no problem with that on my end.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Make
guys.
a motion to close? Or do we need a motion?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
thanks guys.
Yep, thanks.
Everybody have a good night and probably see you in 2 weeks or so, right? You guys
Sounds
do-
good, May 10th.
May 10th.
May 10th. All right.
What happened to that head, Fred?
Basil salt,
Oh,
can't see.
Burn it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wear a hat,
today.
right?
That's from when I was young.
Erica,
I wear,
will you,
I've got about 20 of them. Over 10.
follow up, I mean, I could
Used
do
to
it
be
with Mark just
Arizona,
saying
yeah.
that if
But
you could
it's,
confirm just those
it's the
two
one I was young.
articles.
It has nothing
Yeah,
to
Which
do with
ones I'm doing,
today.
that would be
I'm
great.
assuming I'll have plenty of those with my skin. I'm surprised I haven't had any yet.
Is it so common?
Everybody that I ever worked with that was over 40, every year gets
Yeah.
burned off. I mean, it's Arizona, I mean,
Right.
they work in the sun, 300.
Well, I was surprised when my son was out in school for 4 years ago out there, and it's warm as heck, and all the laborers have long sleeve shirts on and the cloth down to their neck
Yep.
underneath the hats. I mean, it's warm
It
out,
could be
right?
hot, right?
Yeah, but
You actually stay cooler in a long
With
sleeve
that.
shirt in the desert than you do with.
you know, it's funny, it's, the tourists are out there with nothing on, and the workers who are physically doing stuff, they're all
Everybody's
covered up.
covered. Straw hats, long sleeve shirts, that's all you can do. Thank you guys.
Take care, everyone.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Erica,